Hey everyone, it's Lockhart QT, and today I'll be reviewing the brand new DLC for Splatoon 3, which is called Side Order. Now, if you don't know, this video is going to cover some light spoilers, like really light entry level spoilers, so don't worry there. However, I will have a dedicated section right at the end, which will be timestamped in the description, as well as in the pinned comment, as well as on screen, for, the ending and the end game overall, because once you complete the main campaign, there's some stuff that opens up there, so be warned. So let's get right into the review. So these are going to be my honest thoughts on Side Order, and honestly, I think it's a really great DLC. I think out of the two, being obviously Side Order, and then you had the Octo expansion for Splatoon 2. If you don't know, that this is actually a sequel to the Octo expansion. You actually play as Agent 8 from Splatoon 2, and obviously the main characters featured are Off the Hook, which are the sort of idol girls from Splatoon 2, which is Pearl and Marie. And yet they're fantastic yet again. I think that Pearl, for me, I didn't really like her as much in Splatoon 2 as much as Marie, and I've got to be honest, I've actually sort of turned sides here. I actually really like Pearl now. I think they've sort of figured out how to write her properly. But if you don't know what Side Order is, well, it's the brand new DLC story mode. This new DLC is actually very different from what we've had before, sort of like how the Octo expansion DLC was a lot different. This time, it is a roguelike, so if you don't know what that means, and you've got no idea what you're in for, essentially what it is you've got a massive tower in a virtual version of Inkopolis Square from Splatoon 2. You go in and you have to complete 30 levels of the tower. It does have a tutorial where you sort of have to, I think it's 10 floors, and then you actually get the main story. So it's sort of like a tutorial where you have to do like 10 floors and then you go straight in. And obviously the caveat being that you don't have any lives. So you actually start off with 1 life, and then you have a sort of shop that opens up, without getting into any spoilers, after you complete the main tutorial, and you can buy more lives and different things like damage, amplifiers, like different skills, like, I don't know, like damage over time, how your weapons affect enemies, how you traverse, things like you can, if you die and lose all your lives completely, you can buy them back and things like that. Again, it's really hard to talk about without completely spoiling the mode. But overall, this mode is fantastic. It is in my opinion, a really good mix of really easy content for obviously a younger audience, or people that aren't good at Splatoon, aren't good at third-person shooters. And then you've also got the stuff that is for like Splatoon veterans, like people that really want a challenge. And if you guys remember, I'd even argue that the Splatoon 3 main story mode had this, but the actual campaign missions themselves from the Octo expansion, some of them were brutally difficult, and I'm happy to say that this trend returns with Side Order. And this is where the mode gets into some really cool stuff. So basically what it is each floor is a randomized challenge, and obviously to progress you have to complete that challenge. Every 10th floor is a boss, with obviously the 30th being a bit of a surprise, so I don't really want to ruin that for anybody. And yeah, it's really cool. Each one's randomized, so when you go into it, it will give you a list of 3 modes, ranging from different difficulties. So you've got easy, normal, hard, and rigorous. Rigorous, some of them can be cheesed and are really easy, however some of them are brutally difficult. And then you have other modifiers, such as you might have one that says bonus, which basically means if you complete the challenge with another challenge sort of added onto it, you get extra bonus goodies at the end of it. So for example, you might go into a easy challenge floor with the bonus that you cannot use your special, and obviously you go in, you don't use your special, and you get bonus stuff. The other modifier is danger, which basically just makes the mode a whole lot harder. I think that one of these is the Pearl drone, which you have with you at all times, is completely negated and you can't use it. And I forgot to mention, Pearl is in this as a companion and follows you around. She is a little drone and can do various things. You can use her to glide, which is super cool. You can sort of slam down onto enemies with her, as well as the fact that She can save you if you fall off the edge, as well as she can have little modifiers such as she can throw out grenades and send out a mini killer whale, which actually comes in super useful. And speaking of the challenges themselves, it's a nice sort of variation of some of them are brutally difficult with the certain terrain being changed, and some of them are really laughably easy. So you've got ones where you have like these tentacle things that pop out the floor. They probably do have a name, I'll probably have them on screen now, that spawn enemies, and you essentially have to get rid of them before they keep spawning more and more enemies. You have ones where you've got to chase down enemies that run away from you whilst other enemies are coming in for you as well. And you've got one where you've got to sort of shoot a, I guess not like a flag post, but a capture point. You have to shoot the capture point and move it across to the end, which is fantastic. And you have, your normal ones where you've either got to kill enemies or hold zones, your typical Splatoon single player modes. And all of these added together just create a really great experience. And of course the story is back here, and again we get Pearl Marina back, which is absolutely fantastic. But I will now be going into the full spoiler section, so like I said at the start of the video, if you don't want any spoilers, here's your chance to dip out now. So in terms of spoilers, the whole story of Side Order takes place after the final Splatfest from Splatoon 2, sort of like how Splatoon 1's final Splatfest obviously then bled into Splatoon 2's story. Obviously that ended with Chaos versus Order, with Chaos being Pearl winning the final Splatfest. And we went into it really not knowing if it was going to be in the Splatoon 3 campaign or not, and obviously with Side Order it is. Essentially the story is Marina has created a virtual landscape, and unfortunately due to a AI known as Order has gained control of it and is now trapping people's consciousnesses into it, and it gets to a point where basically Inkopolis as a whole and the whole world is threatened, with everyone being sucked into this virtual landscape. And again, it's here where we return to a sort of washed out grayscaled version of Inkopolis Square. So you climb up all 30 towers and confront Order with a really decent boss fight. Again, it can be cheesed. I've only actually completed it twice as of this recording, but the final boss was really great. And you get a bit of a cliffhanger at the end with the end game where you've got to go in, because actually in the square itself you've got these lockers, and once you sort of traverse the tower you can gain locker keys, and you can gain things like new pallets, which are essentially weapon kits that you have in the main game, and as well as the currency needed to go to Marina to level up your skills so you can go in absolutely OP. I reckon that once people have basically all of the upgrades upgraded from Marina, I reckon this is going to be a really easy challenge going up all 30. It's going to take you less than an hour, because some of these are absolutely broken, and especially with the pallet chips that you use as the currency throughout the game to sort of upgrade yourself, again they are just absolutely broken, and I think that's fantastic. Side Order is definitely its own thing, and that's completely fine. It doesn't really go into anything else, and I really do hope that Pearl and Marina return, and the fact that technically they do, because this is obviously the big spoiler, so if you don't want this, obviously dip out now, but basically completing the first run of all 30 floors and the final boss, which is Order, after you kill Order, you then get Inkopolis Square from Splatoon 2 returned, which means that in Splatoon 3 we not only have Splatsville, but you have Inkopolis from Splatoon 1, so the plaza, and Inkopolis Square from Splatoon 2, which is just absolutely fantastic. So in terms of a review, I really recommend Side Order and the Splatoon 2 expansion pass as a whole, really, if you're a big fan of Splatoon. If you're looking for more of a challenge, then I would definitely recommend getting Side Order, because completing some of the harder challenges as well as the rigorous level ones are absolutely unforgiving. Some of these are brutally difficult and I really love the challenge here from a game like Splatoon, where it can be a bit easy at times. And, you know, for easier players, like I said, you can actually just go in and do most of the easy and normal challenges and maybe only do one hard challenge out of the entire 30 floors, which, you know, people are going to eventually complete this and unlock it in Inkopolis Square and just have fun. And this is a DLC in a mode that was designed to be replayed again and again, and I'm all here for it. And really, in terms of closing thoughts, I just really hope that they bring this mode back in Splatoon 4 or whatever the next mainline game is going to be, as I think it's fantastic and it deserves to come back in some way, as you can just have so many variations and combos, and once you're fully kitted out and upgraded with the skill tree from Marina at the side, you can just go in and absolutely blitz the tower in less than probably 30 minutes, to be honest with some people. But it's going to be insane to see people's speed runs on this, and I just really hope the mode returns. Anyway, tell me in the comments below, have you played Splatoon 3 Side Order, and are you enjoying it? Thank you so much for watching, and for more Nintendo, gaming and Splatoon content, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I hope you all have an absolute tropical day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.